Ever feel like you're studying for hours, but nothing sticks? You're not alone. Today, I'm sharing 5 powerful study tips that can make a big difference in your learning. Whether you're a high schooler, a college student, or even learning on your own, these strategies are designed to help you study smarter, not harder. And if you're interested in more learning tips like this, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. Tip number 1. Set smart goals. First up, let's talk about setting goals. Instead of just saying, "I'll study history tonight," use SMART goals. This stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Let me break it down. For example, instead of "study history," try "review chapters 3 to 5 in the textbook and answer 10 practice questions within the next hour." See the difference? Now, you have a clear target. When you set SMART goals, you give yourself a direction and a purpose. This makes it easier to focus and track your progress. You'll feel motivated and in control of your study time. Tip number 2. Use active recall. Next, let's talk about one of the most effective ways to retain information: active recall. This is simply quizzing yourself on the material instead of passively rereading or highlighting. After reading a page or watching a video, close the book or pause the video, and ask yourself questions about what you just learned. Try to answer from memory instead of looking at your notes. If you're studying biology, after reading about cells, ask yourself questions like, what are the main parts of a cell? What do they each do? Research shows that actively recalling information is more effective than passive review. When you try to retrieve information from memory, your brain strengthens its connection to that material. Tip number 3. Spaced repetition. Tip number 3 is all about timing. It's called spaced repetition. Instead of cramming, you review information over increasing intervals of time, like reviewing after 1 day, then 3 days, then a week. Apps like Anki and Quizlet are great for this because they let you create flashcards that show up for review right when you're likely to forget them. But you can also do this on your own by setting reminders in your calendar. Why it works? This technique works because of the forgetting curve. Our brains tend to forget information unless we reinforce it over time. Spaced repetition lets you keep information fresh in your mind, making it easier to recall later. Tip number 4. Eliminate distractions. Now, let's talk about getting in the zone. If you're constantly checking your phone, notifications, or browsing social media, your brain can't focus on studying. That's why minimizing distractions is so important. Put your phone on airplane mode, use a study playlist that helps you focus, or try apps that block distracting sites. Set a timer for 25 minutes of focused study time, then take a 5-minute break before repeating. Why it works? Multitasking has been proven to reduce productivity and the quality of your learning. By dedicating focused time, your brain is better able to understand and retain the material. Tip number 5. Teach what you learn. Lastly, one of the best ways to really solidify your understanding is by teaching it. The Feynman technique, named after physicist Richard Feynman, is all about explaining complex ideas in simple terms. Once you feel like you've learned a topic, try explaining it to someone else, or even just to yourself in front of a mirror. When you try to teach it, you'll quickly realize if there are any parts you don't fully understand. Let's say you've been studying how photosynthesis works. Try explaining it step by step as if you're teaching a friend who knows nothing about it. This will help reinforce what you know and highlight areas you need to review. Teaching what you've learned helps identify gaps in your understanding. Plus, putting information into your own words reinforces memory and understanding. Conclusion and recap. So, to recap: 1. Set SMART goals. 2. Use active recall. 3. Try spaced repetition. 4. Eliminate distractions. And 5. Teach what you learn. Remember, studying is a skill you can improve over time. Try these tips, and see what works best for you. If you found these tips helpful, drop a like, share your own study tips in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more study strategies and advice.